So 2 weeks into the school year, my daughter's second grade teacher came up to me after the day was over and said, "Hey, I need to grab you for a second." So I go inside the room with her, and she's very serious. And she says, "I just need to let you know about an incident that happened today." And immediately I'm like kind of nervous because my kids are not normally like in trouble. And so I'm thinking something bad happened to my child. And so she proceeds to tell me that during recess, 3 boys basically chased my daughter, tackled her, and then pinned her down. And one of the boys was like aggressively pinching her. And apparently the teacher that was on duty during recess immediately saw it, ran, and like started yelling and removed the boys and took Lucia, my daughter, to her classroom to inform the teacher what happened. And I just felt my like stomach sink because I just couldn't fathom how in the world my second grader needs to now understand that feeling already. Because for every woman that has experienced the feeling of being pinned down by a male, there's literally no worse feeling on this planet to feel that powerless and lacking control and all of those things. And it just was such, I just got teary-eyed immediately hearing the teacher talk about it. And then I went immediately and talked to my daughter to just check in and see what her perspective was. Is she okay? All of those things. And she was there was a bit of lightness and levity to it. Like she didn't sound as serious about it, but I could feel like she was maybe already compartmentalizing a little bit. But here's the interesting thing, and the reason that I'm telling this story is that as a parent, I have always advocated for my children to use their words to communicate rather than to use physical violence in any scenario. And I've mostly done this within the context of my 2 daughters, who for the most part usually now know to communicate and talk before resorting to hitting each other or anything of that nature. But something that I failed to do, and I hope other parents can learn from my mistake, is that I failed to tell my daughter that if there is an instance where something is someone is violating her personal space, that she has every right to be physical and to do whatever she needs to do to regain her space. And I even asked her after this had happened, I said, were you able to just kick him or push him or punch him off of you or whatever it might be? Could you have just done it? And her first response was, but I would have gotten in a lot of trouble if I did that. And that's when I realized immediately the error in my ways. And I immediately just really asserted the fact that it is so important for you, anytime your personal space is being threatened or you feel like your body is being violated in any way, you do not need to worry about repercussions for protecting your own body and your own safety. And so I say all of this to you all just so that you can hopefully have these conversations with your kids. I didn't think at the age second grade, I wasn't in my mind, I guess, really thinking about that already kind of happening and that being a journey, but now it has, unfortunately. And so I don't think it's ever too early to have that conversation and to start that dialogue.
Backstory for why I broke up with this guy on his birthday. I dated him for about 1.5 years. And I moved in with him way too early. That was a mistake I needed to learn and make, and I did. So he, in the relationship, turned out to be very manipulative and controlling and a narcissist. So is his said mother, who the video was initially about, which, honestly, I feel terrible bashing her. She's not a terrible person. She just acted kind of crazy to me, and I just don't think she's the most sane person. Mind you, I need to make this point clear. I broke up with him the night before his birthday. I broke up with him May 1st. May 1st, his birthday is the May 2nd. I broke up with him the night before because me and my friend did gardening, a certain type of gardening with oils that I had never done before. And when I tell you we did a lot. But we did gardening, and I had never felt this happy in my life, and I was explaining that to her. I was like, oh my goodness, her name is Jane in this story. Jane, Never been this happy. I feel so free. Like, I've needed to be this stress-free for a minute. Little Zachary thinks it's funny to turn off all the lights while me and this girl are, like, sunken in the couch. We are not moving. We are watching South Park. Happy as fuck. And he thinks it's funny to put on this little girl on YouTube with a black screen that's like, do you want to come play with me? Turn around. Ha 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 ha. And, like, go around the apartment and turn off all the lights. My friend starts crying. She is, like, in full-blown tears. I start screaming. We are too messed up for this. We are too zooted. We are out of our minds. Not even on the same planet as this guy. So she's crying. I'm yelling. We're not happy. And at some point, I finally stand up, demand the remotes back because he hides them from me and laughs in our face while we're freaking out. And I'm like, Zachary, I'm breaking up with you. He doesn't remember this. He was also 6 beers in, but that's okay. But I do. And he finally turned on everything and laughed at us and then went back to bed while me and my friends slept in the living room. Mind you, we were at the point in our relationship where before my friend came over, I had to say, hey, Zach, so-and-so is coming over. I need you to be on your best behavior and not blatantly make fun of me and act like I'm the dumbest person alive. Because we were at the point in the relationship where I was the butt of every joke. It was just funny to, like, pick on me and be very rude and hurtful and, like, mean to me and my friends. So I had to say, you were on your best behavior. This man literally goes, he says to my face, hold on. He says, tomorrow's my birthday. You can't be mad at anything I do. So then he does this little stunt. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. So I didn't break up with him because he pranked me. I'm not stupid. There was, like, a bunch of things that led up to this, like a $600 Lego set that he forced me to buy, or he would not say he loved me. That's a story for a different time. Also, 2 weeks prior, the girls I found in his phone that I begged him and his friend to stop looking at pictures of girls together, and I go through his deleted texts and I see these girls that look nothing like me. So yeah, moral of the story, the mother did not have to get involved. She had no right to even talk about me, my issues, or my mother in our breakup voicemail that she needed to send me. Mind you, that's not the only one. I got another, plus numerous texts, plus being talked about a lawsuit if I don't pay rent, which, long story short, I quit paying rent after 6 months of not living there, and I didn't have to pay. And the full-on dad also contacted me, like, what the fuck, Shelby? This is insane. I'm out of breath. Sorry, this is such a long story time. I wish I could reply to a comment because that'd be so much easier. And I'm sorry it took me all day to reply. I was on a double. But, so yeah, that was pretty much the moral of the story. I broke up with him. I moved. Oh, this was actually a big part of the story. I'm sorry. The reason I couldn't wait the 24 hours after is because I was not about to pay for this guy's dinner the next day. I was not about to buy him birthday presents the next day. I was not about to go spend the whole weekend with him and his brother and act like everything's fine when I know I need to pack my shit and get out of this apartment now. Because I knew if I didn't do it now, I wouldn't do it. And I talked to my friend that night. She was like, are you seriously about to go through with this? And I was like, I have no other choice. I have to do what I have to do at this point. And leaving was, like, the best option. And it was. In the long term, everything worked out the exact way it needed to. I feel like my life is on a much better track. And I felt like shit breaking up with him on his birthday. I promise you that. I didn't think it was easy. I wasn't, like, giggling about it. I felt like a cunt. That was my main... Sorry. I felt like a bad person. But at some point you have to look out for you, and that's what I was doing. And I'm pretty happy I did it. That was not a good relationship, and I needed out of it way earlier.
Quick recap, I went out with a guy that I matched with on Hinge on Saturday night, and it ended up going absolutely terrible. So it's me and my friend. He tells us to show up to his Airbnb at a certain time to pregame with, like, all the rest of his friends. Right when we get there, off the bat, the vibes are off. There's, like, 3 other girls there. They're getting ready. I introduce myself. Like, I walk up the stairs and I'm like, hi guys, like, I'm Winnie, nice to meet you, because I'm not the bitch that's not about to say hi. When they said hi, it was just like very cold, very annoying. And the Hinge match kept saying like, God, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry that I had to bring you guys into this vibe. Let's go up to the roof and just like drink there. So we go up to the rooftop. He's chatting about how it's his birthday, how he had rented this Airbnb, and how they were being absolutely terrible. Like, they didn't care that it was his birthday. They didn't want to go to any of the places that he wanted to go. And I felt really bad. So me and my friend, we were like, look, just hang out with us. Like, we're going to go out, we're going to have a good time, and we're going to celebrate your birthday. I did start to notice, though, that he was starting to pay more attention to my friend, like ask her more questions and just be a little bit more intrigued in her life. It's not really important to the story, but I just wanted to give you guys, like, the vibes. So it's me, my friend, Hinge guy, his friend. He really wanted to go to this club called Havana, so it's his birthday. We're like, you know, we're gonna do whatever you want to do. His friend calls the Uber. We go down from the roof and we leave and we get in the Uber. The moment we get out of the Uber, I realize that I didn't have my purse. So I'm looking around for my purse. I'm looking at them. I'm like, guys, I don't have my purse. The Uber is driven away. Can you try messaging the Uber? I'm talking to his friend at this point because his friend's the one that called the Uber. Like, can you try messaging him and asking him if the purse is in there? He's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But chances are your purse is probably in the house. You probably left it there, or you probably left it on the rooftop. I was like, you know what? You know, at this point, I was a little bit tipsy. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, probably. Honestly, it's probably there. So like, no big deal. I also really did not want to ruin this man's birthday and make it about myself. So I was kind of just like, okay, like, hopefully it's at the house. It probably is. And then we can just have a good night. We're at Havana. We're having a good time. I kind of noticed that like at this point that he's like really interested in my friend. So I'm starting to just get like turned off. I'm like, okay, like whatever, you know, it is what it is. After a couple hours, we were lit. We were like, let's head back to the Airbnb. And here's where shit got stressful because it escalated so fast. The moment we get back to his Airbnb, he's like, shh, shh, be quiet. You have to be quiet. The girls are sleeping. Like, don't say a peep. Like, don't say a word. He's not even letting us stay in the house. He's literally saying, go back up to the roof where it's cold as hell. We were drinking. He's like, shh, shh. Every little thing we say, if we giggle, if we talk, he would be like, shh, shh, shh. Meanwhile, we weren't even being loud. Like, we were trying to be as respectful as we possibly could be. But it was the fact that every little noise we made, this man was like, guys, you guys are being too loud. It was like, honestly, it just gave me, like, it gave me the ick. Like, we get up to the roof, we're talking, we're telling him, like, how cold we are and how we want to go back inside. And so he's like, fine, like, let's go downstairs. I'm thinking he's going to take us to the kitchen. No. He takes us down one flight of stairs because there's 3 flights of stairs in this condo. It's like layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 rooftop. He takes us down the first flight of stairs and like pushes us into his room and locks the door and like closes the door. It was at this moment that I remembered that I still hadn't found or looked for my purse. So I tell him, I'm like, oh my God, I completely forgot to look for my purse. Have you talked to the Uber? I look at his friend and I'm like, hey, have you talked to the Uber driver? Have you heard anything? He's like, no, I haven't heard anything. I'm like, can I go and like look in your kitchen? Maybe I left it on the roof. He looks me dead in my eye and is like, shh, shh, no, you can't, no. I'm looking at him in shock and disbelief. I'm like, what do you mean no? I need to find my purse. My keys to my home are in there and the keys to my car are in there. If I don't find them, like, I'm literally stuck. He proceeds to tell me again, no, I'm sorry, but you can't go look. By this point, his friend had left the room and disappeared. It had been like 20 or 30 minutes now. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, can we try to contact the Uber? Like, can we please do something? Because us just sitting here and you guys just staring at me is stressing me out. Like, I'm getting nervous. Like, I need to find my shit. At this point, I'm starting to cry. Him and my friend are sitting on the bed. I'm like scooched into a corner, like balled up, crying. Him and my friend are looking at me like I'm fucking insane. I am pleading with this man to please let me go check the roof. Let me go check the kitchen. Like, let me just leave this room. And he's still saying no. At this point, I don't feel like my friend is supporting me at all, and it's 2 against 1, and I'm feeling very, very ganged up on. So I'm like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to the bathroom because there was a bathroom attached to the room. I'm like, and you guys can sit here, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I'm gonna call Corey, my baby daddy. I go into the bathroom because talking to them is not helping. I am still drunk, and I'm trying my hardest to still be respectful to this man. So I go into the bathroom, I call Corey crying. Corey is like stressed out. He's like, what's going on? What's happening? I'm telling him what's happening. I'm like, I'm trying to tell them I need to find my keys. I need to find my my car keys, you know, and my house keys because I can't get into my house. Like I'm explaining this to Corey. Corey's like, I don't understand. Like, what's the issue? Like, why can't you look for your shit? And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, no one's listening to me, dude. Not even my friend. Like, she wasn't even listening to me. Yes, I was intoxicated, but at the same time, like, I was still very much aware that I needed to find my shit. My friend whips open the bathroom door and she's like, we can hear you talking out here. Like, we can hear you talking shit. And I'm like, okay, but you guys are not helping me. So I had to call Corey to be like, hey, come help me because they're not helping me. I felt like no one was listening to me. It was giving like angry black women freaking out for no reason. At that point, I was really mad at my friend. I had cussed her out because I was like, leave me alone. She ends up storming off. I think she ends up like leaving the room. And she's like, fuck it, I'm out of here. She storms off. She leaves. I'm sitting there like crying to Corey, like, hey, like, what do I do? I'm still begging this man, like, can I please just go check? Like, let me just go look. He's still saying no. About 5 minutes later, my friend tries to call me and tells me like, let's go. I called the Uber and I'm sitting here like, no, I already called my child's father. I don't want to hop in the car with you and just be screaming at each other. Like, I'm not arguing with you about this. Like, I'm not doing it. So I completely was like, you go. So she ends up leaving. And another reason why I didn't want to leave is because I still didn't have my shit, right? Like, they didn't even live in Georgia. The moment I would have left, I would have never heard from them again. So I'm talking to the Hinge guy. It's just me and him at this point. And I'm like, can you go ask your friend if the Uber driver has said anything? Like, give me the Uber driver's number. Like, I will go, but like, I need some connection so that I can try to get my purse back. He's screaming back at me like, why are you blaming us? Like, we didn't do anything. He's talking about him and my friend. He's like, we didn't do anything and you're getting mad at us. And I'm sitting here like, I'm not getting mad at you guys. I am just like asking for empathy. Like, help me find my bag. Like, actually care at the fact that I lost my shit. I do take responsibility for losing my shit. That's all on me, but I'm just asking for you to maybe care? Like, what? At this point, I am still bawling and crying to this man, and some other guy, some random guy that hasn't been there the entire night shows up and he's like, you gotta go. Like, you need to leave. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to explain to him. I'm like, I just need my purse. Like, my car is out there. It's parked in front of an abandoned house. It's a little bit ghetto. I can't leave my car here. I can't get into my home. I have nowhere to go. Can you please just like talk to the guy who ordered the Uber or help me find my damn purse? Hinge guy and his friend are like, no, you gotta go. You gotta get out. They are pushing me down like the stairs. Like, both of them are like, you gotta go. You gotta go now. Corey's still on the phone. This entire time, I had still stayed respectful. Like, I still wasn't screaming. I still wasn't loud. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. At that point, knowing that my shit was about to be lost to the void, I was fucking livid. I look straight at Hinge guy and I'm like, God is gonna see this. Like, the karma that you're gonna get for doing this when all you had to do was help me find my purse or let me look in your house. Like, you're gonna, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs at this point because I'm livid. I'm like, dude, have some empathy, like compassion, something. You could literally see the fear on this man's face. He was like, I didn't do anything. Like, you know, it's not my fault you lost your purse. And it's like, it's literally not about that. It's the fact that you won't even help me find it. At this point, I'm not explaining this to him. I'm just like popping off because at this point they had kicked me out on the doorstep and had closed the door. I am bawling to Corey at this point because losing your keys and losing your house keys is like such a traumatic experience. I can't even explain it. It's happened to me. It's happened to me once before and it's like the worst feeling ever. Corey took about an hour to get there because he lives a little bit further from Atlanta than I do. But in between that time, I ended up calling the non-emergency line and they ended up coming out and knocking on the door and literally were like, well, if they don't answer, there's literally nothing we can do. Corey picks me up, which for those of you guys who don't know, Corey is my child's father. He picks me up. He's being super nice to me. He's being super optimistic. He's like telling me like, it's going to be okay. You're just drinking right now. So it's like everything's super heightened. It's going to be fine. But trust me, like I felt like such an idiot. Like I felt like such a failure. I was like, oh my God, I literally can't even get into my own house. He ends up dropping me off at my sister's house and I end up sleeping on her couch that night. But I was so mad. Like I was still so angry. I literally sent that man a voice note and I was like, I'm not proud of this, but I was mad, okay? I was like, listen, my dad is Ghanaian, I'm African, like, I'm gonna put a hex on you, like, you're gonna wish you're gonna rue the day. At this point, he had unmatched me on everything. He had blocked me on Instagram. I had to just take the L and move on and admit that I fucked up. The next day, I literally had to go back to the location, I had to hire a locksmith to get a new car key made. Corey helped me get into my house, change my locks, and then after all of that was done, I get a text message from Hinge guy. He sends me a message and he's like, good news, the Uber driver has your purse. He told me that I have to pay $80 for him to bring it back. So just letting you know that you can come pick it up as soon as I get home. Can't tell you guys how happy I was that my purse was found. He sent that text message and then ghosted me for like 5 hours. By the time that he replied back, it was 11 o'clock at night and he was like, my bad, I was out, but it's at my house if you want to come pick it up. Well, I'm with my son at that point, so like, no, I can't come pick it up, but I'll come pick it up in the morning. He's like, all right, bet, come before 9:30 a.m. So a couple of hours ago, I drove back to the location in Atlanta and I picked up my purse. My Shayla. My Shayla. I'm so happy to see this thing. And everything was in it. I'd already canceled my cards and everything. But I'm so happy. Now I have an extra key, like, and when I got there to pick it up, he kept saying that he did his good deed. And that, like, he's like, I don't know why you were blaming me, but like, just letting you know, like, I had to pay $80 to get that back here. Like, I've done my good deed. And I'm literally sitting here thinking that he's probably stressed out and thinks that I'm really gonna put a damn hex on him, because the way he was acting was like, he was afraid of me. Anyway, I didn't even argue with him. I grabbed my purse. I got out of there. Honestly, don't know what I would have done without my baby daddy, without Corey. So huge shout out to that man.
Now that I have COVID right now, it just made me sit back and think of the lore of 2020. Let me explain. I feel like during COVID, like peak quarantine, everyone was locked in the house. There's a whole lot of Skype calls and, you know, Zoom meetings going on. People either had one or the other. And I swear there was no medium. There was just one or the other. People were either getting themselves together, finding themselves, going on a whole wellness retreat journey, or they were going fucking clinically insane. Now me, my little ass right here, what category was I in? Oh, I was clinically fucking insane. I was doing everything actually to not better myself, to make myself worse. Yeah. There were absolutely no fucking laws. Like, it was a lawless society in my fucking house and on my phone. So 2020, that was right when I graduated high school. And keep in mind, I want to say my high school experience, it was cool, whatever. I mingled a lot, had a lot of people in the community. A very extroverted individual, I would like to say. But also introverted at the same time too. Like, I love to fucking talk, but like, if I don't want to talk, oh, I'm crying, right? So I remember right before COVID started, that's when I made the transition to move into my mom's house. I was like, come on, my ride's coming, I got all my bags, I'm ready to start a new life with my mom. Moved all my shit in, and I want to say literally I moved my shit in 2 weeks after. That's when everything is nationwide on lock. I'm sitting there dumbfounded with my purse and my mattress, and I said, oh, so now I'm locked in this new house. Okay, let's make do of it. Now, as everybody else, week 1 and week 2, I was just like, okay, like, you know, we're off school for a little bit. I love this. Like, I get to fucking relax, you know, take time to myself. I haven't done this in a while. I was smiling. I was like, you know, maybe I could catch up on a couple Netflix originals, you know, a couple season finale. Watching that shit, mumbling and cackling. Then after week 2, when they said, oh, baby, you're never going back to school. This is very fucking serious. I said, oh, hell yeah. Because, you know what? I was done with fucking school. I was on the verge of fucking graduating. So I was like, finally, an easy graduation. And then graduation was on Skype. And I was like, oh, okay, so I see how this is affecting me. Now, granted, I was fucking upset. I was like, oh, so I did all of high school, now I'm not walking the stage now. Okay, so this is serious. So as I said, I graduated on Skype University, and then I realized, oh wait, I applied to college. I got into college. I'm going to college now. Huh. And we're all still at home right now, picking our noses and shit. What now? Now that summer into college was probably the most lunatic, diabolical shit. Like, there's no explanation from what I was doing. Like, it was almost like a big, like, 3-month blackout. Because, what? Like, just to set an example of a normal day for me, like, oh my gosh. I would start my day with waking up, I'm not kidding, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when my eyes would uncrust and I was ready to start madness. I was like, ooh, stretch, you know, a little bit of bones and brittle coming off of me, a little bit of dust. I'm like, all right, 4 p.m. And 4 p.m. would be an early day for me. It would usually range around like 5 to 6, but like 4 p.m. And I'm not talking a.m., babe, like p.m. Day has fully fucking went. It is dinner fucking time and I'm waking up. And I would crawl out of my dungeon and I would walk downstairs. My mom would be downstairs and she'd be in her workout outfit and she'd be like, hi, like, good morning. I'm like, hey girl, like head hurts, like whatever. And she's like, oh, like there's chicken minis there from Chick-fil-A, like I got them for you this morning at 9 a.m. Oh, I would stare at her with so much glee in my face, and I would open one of the ranch packets and aggressively dip the chicken minis in them. Wouldn't heat up the chicken minis, none of that shit. Nope, would just dip it in ranch, pop it in my mouth. And I wasn't eating a pack of, because you know they come in packs of 4. That's the normal count. I was eating 10. It'd be a 10 count because I found out the Chick-fil-A you could get a 10 count. So I would inhale / motorboat an entire 10 count of chicken minis and then smoke. I would mingle with my mom for like probably like, I don't even know, like 2 to 3 hours. That was my socialization. Because at the end of the day, like I was extroverted, so like I needed somebody to fucking talk to. And I was like, you know what, like it's getting boring talking to my mom, but like I need to. So I would just sit there, me and her talking about like the state of the fucking economy and like how like she walked outside today and she felt the air. Keep in mind, I didn't feel the air at all. And then it would hit around, I want to say like 6:30. So keep in mind, I woke up at 4. It would hit around 6:30 and she'd be like, oh, like, do you want to do dinner? And I'd be like, yeah. And we would pick a random, like either fast food or like, actually we're eating really fucking good. It wasn't even fast food, like fast food sometimes, but we'd pick like an expensive fucking restaurant. And like we had a little deal going on. Like she would pay for it and I would pick it up. So that was my one time of like going outside. This is hard. But like I literally would like leave my house to go pick up the food that we ordered. And I would come back home and be like, hey girl. And we'd have a potluck. Like it would be crazy at like, I remember one night we did like fucking hibachi. And like I got like double fried, right? Like what the fuck was going on? Like I really was on 600-pound life type of shit. Like I don't know. There was no exercise. I was not using a treadmill. I wouldn't even go on walks around my neighborhood, any of that shit. Like I would just like sit in my room and play on my stinky little phone. And by play on it, I mean scrolling on my For You page. Because that's when TikTok was popping off. And believe it or not, TikTok, once again, best era 2020. People were renegading. Everyone was talking about pathogens. They had like some really good audios. I was just all up on fucking TikTok. 9 to fucking 5, doing research, laughing. And I would just stay on TikTok. All fucking day and all fucking day. And sometimes I would trickle over to YouTube, but I was like, oh, like YouTube's not giving me this like satisfaction anymore. I need TikTok. And then like, I want to say like 2 times a week, that's when I would have a annual planned FaceTime call with my friend. So basically like we'd pick a time, we'd be like, okay, like 6 p.m. on Wednesday. We'd plan it on like that Sunday. We'd be like, okay, like we need to have like a group FaceTime call. And that's what we would do. Also with another one of my friend groups, we would do Zoom calls. Like I'm not kidding. Like, and we would plan it. And like, why the fuck? Because I'm thinking about it sometimes, like, why sometimes would I miss, like, the planned FaceTime call? Like, I had nothing to fucking do. Like, literally nothing. I don't even know why I would miss it, but, like, sometimes, like, I know I was, like, a regular at, like, flaking on these FaceTime calls. But I think I just became, like, content with like my schedule that I was doing. Like, okay, I can stay up all motherfucking night, do whatever the fuck I want, wake up at 4 p.m. I have this call at 7 p.m. Like, that goes into my hibachi time. But see, that was me during COVID. Also, just to mention, thought about this too. The unemployment everybody was collecting, I wasn't. I fucking wasn't. Because you want to know what? I got fired right before. And I was told by somebody, I mean my dad, and he was like, if you get fired, you can't collect unemployment. Which I'm pretty sure it's the opposite of that. I'm pretty sure if you get fired, you can collect unemployment. But everybody in my community was suddenly little millionaires. They had $20,000 sitting in the account from unemployment. More money they've ever had in their fucking life. And I was sitting there dead broke, waiting for hibachi. Like, my bank account was literally crickets and dust. Like, I wasn't working. It was appalling. But see, that was me during COVID. But then I hear stories of my friends who during COVID, they proceeded to lose 400 pounds some fucking how. They didn't even weigh 400 pounds. Now they lost 400 pounds. Fully picked up a trade of yoga. They do yoga now. They meditated. They somehow went to the Caribbean, and went on a retreat. Like, people I know just started gardening. Like, actually gardening. Like, growing flowers and shit outside in their backyard. Like, I had absolutely no fucking hobbies but like doom scrolling. But I truly forget how long the lockdown was. But I remember when the lockdown got like kind of lifted and they were like soft launch and they're like, okay, like stuff's opening back up. Like, come on, become a normal human again. I kind of sighed. Like, I was like, because I was like, damn, like I'm not gonna lie, I was living so fucking good. So unhealthy and so ridiculous how I was living. But I was like, like what? So I remember like the first week back, like, you know, stabilizing yourself with society again. I was just like, And I truly believe that COVID made people more antisocial. Like, I kind of forget what life was like before COVID. But, like, I feel like before COVID, like, shit was open 24 hours. Like, people were just, like, running around the streets and shit. People still do that, keep in mind. But, like, I feel like, I don't know, it altered people. And did it alter me? I'm not gonna lie. I think it made me more quiet for, like, a week or two after. But then I got reinstated with everything. And I said, hey, bitches, here's my mouth again. And from then, I have not shut the fuck up. Since 2020 to 2025 right here, I have not shut my fucking flap.
Am I in the wrong for putting my hand over my sister-in-law's camera at my own birthday dinner after I told her no filming? I, 29 female, had a small birthday dinner last weekend with my husband, 31 male. My sister-in-law, Lena, 27 female, mother-in-law, and 2 friends, at a normal but nice place. Lena's an influencer. She films literally everything. Plates, forks, people breathing. 3 days before, I wrote in the family chat, please don't film me. Food, room is fine, just not my face. She said, got you. We sit down and within like 10 minutes her phone is up. I say quietly, please don't point it at me. She goes, you look great, it's just vibes. My husband backs me up. She said no. Lena rolls her eyes, lowers it for maybe 2 minutes. Then the cake comes, little sparkler, staff singing. Lena stands and points the camera right in my face like, birthday girl reveal. I put my hand over the lens and said, stop. I didn't grab her phone or touch her, just over the camera for a second. She snaps that I ruined her shot and that this is her job. My mother-in-law says, let it go for one night. I said that it's my night, actually. It got awkward fast. The server was right there. I felt embarrassed. My husband tried to change the subject, but Lena kept muttering about how she had to scrap everything. I even paid for my own dessert, long story, and we left pretty quickly. The next morning, Lena texted that I humiliated her and made her look unprofessional in front of everyone. My mother-in-law says I should have moved seats if I didn't want to be in frame. My husband says my boundary is fair, but maybe I made a scene by doing it during this song when eyes were already on me. She's posted me before without asking, and coworkers mentioned it. I've asked her to blur/remove, and it turns into drama, which is why I set the boundary in writing before dinner. Why I might be the a-hole, it was a public place, I did physically block her shot, and yeah, it was during the song. I could have stood up and turned away or something, but also, I don't want to be online against my will, especially on my own birthday. So, was I in the wrong?